I call to order this Coweta County Board of Education meeting, called agenda 8:38, 6:30 p.m., May 20th, 2025. Please rise for the pledge and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Now I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Dr. Horton, I turn it over to you for the budget work session.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I'll call on Assistant Superintendent for Finance, Mr. Keith Chapman, to bring you the second of our required budget workshops. Mr. Chapman.
Working from the same numbers we saw last week, there have been no changes. We start with our FY25 revenue, $293 million. Look at our state funding change, work from our projected 25 current year amount, see an increase in QBE, increase in local fair share, which is a subtraction. Transportation money decreased slightly, very minimal increase in nursing. $5.8 million net increase on the state funds. Not projecting any change in our midterm allotment. Slight change in federal indirect costs. That'll vary based on what the final grants are from the Fed. Bus replacement funds dropped significantly. School safety grant, there was a slight increase. We also received an additional security grant. We paid the custodial supplements last year, however, they weren't in the original budget when it was put together. All other state grants increased a little over $500,000. Our Title ad valorem tax, we're looking at an increase right at $200,000. Our other taxes, miscellaneous, not projecting any change. We accepted approximately $5.7 million in growth in last year's digest when we did not roll back. Looking at a 5% increase on the digest, maintaining the military to 15.41 mils would give us just over $7 million. Total increase, $19 million. Total projected revenue, $312 million for 2026. And I did not say this to start out with. This is strictly our general fund, does not include capital projects or federal programs. Expenditures, we're just over $313 million, budgeting $812,272 in the reserves, lowest amount we've budgeted in reserves in many years. Salaries and benefits, $285 million, a little over 91%, significant amount there. Look at our personnel changes. You will notice there are several items highlighted in yellow. These items were mandated to us from the state. We've got an increase in health insurance for certified employees, $2.2 million. Increase in health insurance on our classified employees, $4.2 million. TRS increase, we have just a handful of people in the ERS. There was a small decrease there, but a net increase of $1.8 million. Certified employee steps, $1.8 million. Where we come to things that are local decisions, we're looking at doing a step for classified employees, admin, a 2% cost of living for all employees, certified, classified, and admin. Those are our decision. We've got a few growth positions that we're adding. Due to change in enrollment, not overall numbers, but numbers at specific schools, we're hoping we will see a decrease of 9 positions, but we budgeted 3 just to be safe there. We added the custodial supplement in because, again, the revenue wasn't budgeted, expense wasn't budgeted last year. Other major changes, as I mentioned earlier, we had an additional security grant, and we've added money for using contracted nurses. We try to keep a nurse at every school. We're unable to hire nurses as employees in several instances, so we contract with companies. It's just a shift of funds from being budgeted for salaries to being as contracted services.
Excuse me, Mr. Chaplain.
Sure.
Dr. Horton, for the reduction of teaching positions, we're not letting anyone go. This is just someone's retiring. We're just not going to backfill, essentially. something
Yes,
along those
sir.
lines.
Currently, we're looking at approximately 74 retirees next year, but we would anticipate that any reduction in the number of teachers would be handled through normal attrition. We'll also note, you may remember back during the budget, not the budget work session, whole board training we had a few months ago, back in March, where we went school by school and showed you how we track that enrollment to the grade level. That is the basis for those reductions.
Yes, sir. No, thank you for that clarification. I just know we've had that conversation publicly with other systems, and I just didn't want us to look like we were doing something others were doing, because we're fiscally responsible. Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
The next page are expenditures, major operating items. These are fairly similar from year to year. Largest items, utilities, SROs, software, hardware for IT, transfers. I'm not going to go through all of them, but those are listed out. Those come to 8.7% of the expenditures. All other operating expenditures are 0.21%, so there's not much other out there. Last page.
Can I ask a quick
Sure.
question? On the SROs, just for my own knowledge, do we pay 100% of that salary, or do we split it with the
It's-
sheriffs or the city?
It's
How does that-
it's a split.
Split, okay. Thank you.
Sure. Projecting the reserves to be $46.6 million at the end of this fiscal year, 14.88%, which good reserve balance there. On the horizon, as always, we're looking at maintaining a healthy reserve, looking at the potential increase in the senior exemption. Don't see any way that won't pass in November. And we're trying to catch up with our facility maintenance renovation at other schools since we've been so concentrated on Noonan for a few years.
Mr. Chapman, a quick question on that senior exemption. Obviously, the vote will be early November. Will the tax assessor's office have enough time so that, assuming that that passes, and we all think it will and hope it does, that will be reflected in the bills that are due in, December of this year?
No, sir, it will not go into effect until the next calendar year.
It would be the bill, that the property tax that would be due in December of 26.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted
No,
to make sure
that's
of that. So, okay.
While we're real quick on taxes, so this budget is based off of if we were to take the 1541 in later this summer, like the millage rate, excuse me.
Right.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Mr. Chapman, I'll ask a question that you're probably much more qualified than I to answer. When you look at the increases in state health benefit plan for classified and certified employees, do we have any say in the employee cost?
We don't have any say in either portion. Those are dictated to us by the state.
Right, so the employee portion and the employer portion are both dictated to us by the state?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Chapman, I think that's also true for the employee contribution to the teacher's retirement
Yes, sir.
system.
Those
We
are-
have no control over.
Those are set by, the max is set by law. That's set and dictated to us.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
So our increases in insurance, so when it now costs us $22,620 per member, $1,885 per member per month, $22,000 per year. So when we get these insurance plans, so that is something handed to us from the state. We do not shop insurance. So that's our state House and Representatives voting for that insurance plan.
That comes from the state, yes. I mean, and that's strictly health. Everything else we do handle locally, health comes to us from
And
the state.
Did it come with an explanation of the increase? That's just what we have to pay.
I mean,
Originally, we were informed that they were going to phase the increase in over several years. That changed, and it was all implemented within this year.
Mr. Chapman, do you know what portion the employee pays? Or maybe not what portion, what is the amount the employee pays?
It
And
varies on whether it's single.
Depends on what
Single plus
plan they
one,
choose and so
family,
forth.
and which plan, sorry.
Okay.
If you need anything specific, I can get it, but I'm sorry, I don't know them off the top of my head.
So, and I noticed that the increase in state funding is 5,857,172, but when you flip over, the changes they've made, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's about 8 million,
Over 10 million.
over 10 million, so, okay.
Yes, ma'am, by my math, I have
I'm terrible at math, but,
156, 213 is the increase. 156, 213.
so the increase in funding we received does not, it really kind of negates what they're going to increase in our expenditures. It doesn't really, okay, thank you.
It's not going, it never does cover, it never will cover.
So projecting right now to be down as many as 9 teachers. The budget of 800,000 into reserves, Mr. Chapman mentioned it. It is, the least amount we've probably been budgeted into reserve in the last several years. We feel pretty good about that. We do have the 2% COLAs for staff, which of course would be a local decision. Just to give you some information on our general fund salary breakdown. Administrative central office salaries are 2.99% of salaries, just over $8 million there. School-based administrative salaries, 5.49%, so just over $15 million. Certified staff, teachers, 72.27% of salaries. Classified salaries, 19.25. 67.93% of this budget is in instruction. You have some requirements there under state law that you have to meet, but 67.93% of it is in instruction, and we're not projecting any major increases in operating expenses for this year. Back to really briefly some information from 2011 to present on the cost of benefits. We've looked at, I want to say it's an 800% increase. Let me look at it real quick. In benefit cost, yes. From 2011 to this year's proposed FY26 increase, we've had an increase of 206% for certified employees. It's from $912.61 to $1,885 a month for certified, and for our classified employees, non-certified employees, it's 864%. It's gone from $218.20 a month from 2011 to now it's $885 a month is what we pay in classified benefits per month. Mr. Latimer shared that information with me last week. Wanted to make sure that I was able to communicate it to you. So, whenever I say that the price of doing business continues to go up, it has gone up historically for us.
Did you say 885 or 1885?
1,885.
I just wanted to make sure I heard right.
Yep.
Has the coverage changed for our employees? Is it better coverage or the same?
Some people would say a
Yeah,
little
it
better, some would
depends
say a
on-
little worse.
Depends on who you ask.
I'm sorry, can you give that number? For certified, it went from 912.61 to 1885, and then for not certified, I could be wrong.
Yes,
interrupt
sir.
me. And then non-certified was 218.20 to 885.
To 1,885.
18. Okay, that's for.
Yes, sir.
I think we-
1,885.
Thank you.
This is just not sustainable. I don't know how we're gonna continue doing that. I know we're saying that it's dictated from the state, but I just don't see how we can continue on this trajectory.
We have no
I
choice
mean,
but participate in it for our teachers.
I
We're
mean,
not
but-
given an option.
But I
I
don't
know.
know, I don't know where the money's gonna come from eventually. I mean, it just doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem feasible.
Ms. Bernard, I had the same thought. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but I know insurance cost for all of us, private companies or government systems, has skyrocketed over the last, 10 years, but they have not increased this much. I think the state is passing on a lot more of the cost to the local systems. And Ms. Barnett, I think you're right. At some point, there's a breaking point at some point in the future that the state's going to have to step up with more funding. I mean, it's got to come from somewhere, so.
I mean, that's if there's a significant amount of expenditures we have no control over, obviously. And, but with Ms. Barnett, I mean, we're not going to not give insurance, and I don't think you were coming across that way. We're not going to not give insurance to our employees. I just think, correct me if I'm wrong, when we look at the budget as a whole, kind of in years and later years, and obviously we're in a very good spot now. We appreciate Mr. Chapman and his team, Mr. Latimer, Dr. Horton, but I think in years to come, we're going to have to potentially take a harder look at. And if I'm speaking for you, please correct me, but I just think I'm following what you're saying, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's, there's not a free market out there. We can't shop it, right? I mean, it is what it is. We're given. Do we know is this the same insurance that an employee of the state of Georgia? Is it the same type of insurance? Do we know that?
Yes.
Okay, so same premiums and everything else.
I can't speak to what
Okay.
state agencies are charged, but it's,
Yeah, Mr. Dubose, I'm a university system employee, and excuse me, while we don't have exactly the same insurance, it is very similar. It's but we have been hit on the university system side with some employee increases, and I think the state has done the same for teachers, but it's certainly not every year. And those are controlled. The whole university system has the same plans, just like all the school systems have the same plans. So, yeah, it's a similar situation.
Coming out of general industry, we face similar situations at our location here, and we were under a corporate umbrella, and our insurance costs went way up, and so we decided that we would independently shop our insurance, and it actually was higher. The bids that we got were higher than what we were initially given by corporate. So there's no guarantee that just because you shop for that business that it's going to come back, you're going to come back with a lower cost.
I wanted to comment on one other thing, healthcare related, but not directly, but the contract nurses. I think, we are blessed in Coweta County to have two first-class medical facilities with the City of Hope and Piedmont Noonan, and there's some others too. I think the downside of that is, like you said, we can't hire nurses. I did not realize, I was speaking with a principal earlier this week, and they indicated they had a school nurse position open for over a year with no applicants at all. And that's where the contract nurses, we're having to rely on contract nurses to fill those positions. So that's, like I said, it's a shift from kind of one line item to another.
yes.
But that's something else that we, certainly have to provide and need to provide. So.
We'll look at tentative adoption of the budget at our regular June board meeting on June 10th. 2 weeks after, we would need to have a call board meeting for the formal adoption. We'll advertise once between the two meetings, once it's tentatively adopted. And should be done with the budget process at that point, and we'll move on to the millage rate later in July, early August.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chair, unless there are any other questions, that's all I have.
Any other questions or comments on the budget? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.